Welcome to a new edition of Harness Central. I'm Harold Howe, and I'm in Astor, Florida, with the Mickey Burke stable at Winter Miles Training Center. This is going to be first of a three-part series with Mickey here. We're going to start off. Mickey, you're 78 years old. You've got 60 horses in training. What are you doing here working that hard?
Why wouldn't I be here? I mean, there's nothing else I can do. I enjoy this so much. I said the two most miserable days of my wife's life, and we're coming up on our 50th anniversary in a few months, is the day they tell me that I can't train a horse any longer, or the day they tell me I can't drive a car. She's going to be in living hell.
And you've been telling me all day you felt the best today that you've been in ages.
Yeah, I have some physical problems. I'm a rheumatoid arthritic, and a few years ago I broke a femur in 12 places, or 6 places, and I have low aches and pains, but yesterday I had some injections done, and I can't believe how quickly they've taken hold. And like I say, this is the best I've been since I've been down here.
The Burke family is coming off a killer year. $22 million in purse winnings. Was that Canadian or American? No, I guess it doesn't matter. You've got a big task to come back and try and duplicate that, although you've got a record number of 2-year-olds here.
Well, Ronnie probably said it best in an interview a week or two ago when they said, well, what are you going to do if you don't beat 22 million? He says, I'm going to be very upset. He says, because since the year my dad broke the record the first time, which I think is like 12 or 13 years ago, we have improved our record every year through and including 2013. He says, you think I want to be the one not to break it the first time? He says, listen to my dad.
All right. Well, you've got 51 2-year-olds, and we'll do them in an upcoming segment here. But let's talk 3-year-old pacing colts, or 3-year-old pacers today. We'll start off with Some Star Somewhere. That group of 2-year-olds last year, I could make a very good argument that none of them should be named 2-year-old pacing colt of the year, because none of them were able to dominate the division for more than about 7 days. But a lot of them did pretty well, including your fellow. And he was, I think, the fastest at 49-2, but he only made $137,000, and he had some bad luck, particularly in the Governor's Cup where he had to be scratched.
Well, we had 2 Some Beach Somewheres last year, him and Somewhere Some Style, and they trained down like 2 of the best horses that we ever had. And then just about the time we got up home and were finishing them off, they qualified super, I think around 55 and change their first time. And then they ran out of gas for a while. Well, what it turned out was they were just sicker than can be, and it took them a long time to get over it. And then all of a sudden, Some Beach Somewhere, yeah, I got to know. He started to come around and just kept improving, and then right at the end of the year, the other horse started to show that maybe he was the kind of, because we thought he was maybe a throwaway. But then right at the end of the year, he started to show us life again.
And what happened with the scratching here in the Governor's Cup?
I honestly don't remember. You got to remember, we have 300 horses, and as you just said, I'm coming up on 78 years of age. Ronnie, I will guarantee you, Ronnie can tell you everything about every one of them.
He came out of Hunterton Farm. He was a $110,000 yearling. He made $137,000, so he's a little short on breaking even. But what do you think of him at this stage of the game, the end of January? What do you like about him?
I think he's going to be one of the best 3-year-olds in the country. I really do.
And what grabs you about him?
Well, he's just such a big, powerful, slick-gaited horse, and does everything the way it's supposed to be done, and just perfect. Now, at the end of January, we haven't done anything but jogging. We just brought him in about the 15th of the month. But, they're off of what he did last year and the way he finished up the year, I think he's going to be a heck of a colt.
Right. Someone might say he was a little unlucky, only making $137,000. If that be the case, then his stablemate, Southwind Silence, a daughter well said. She kind of went the other way, where, I mean, she made 13 starts, was never out of the top three more than once, made 375. What's your thoughts about her?
Well, when we left here last year, I wouldn't have thought that she could have gone with the. I mean, she was a nice filly, but a big horse will beat a little horse every time. But she just, like you said, she just did everything right. She just kept coming on and coming on and coming on, and she speaks for herself. She is one of the nicer fillies, certainly.
Now, she won the Pennsylvania Sire Stake final. She finished third in the Breeders' Crown. For people who won't see her till spring, are they going to notice much of a physical change in her?
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Most of the time, our horses all develop. And I mean, when we come down here with the 3-year-olds, the first thing we do when we put the hobbles on them for the first time is let their hobbles out about 4 inches, because all of them grow up and get stronger, and we might let them out more before we're done here. But first of all, I'm a firm believer in a horse going with a low head and a loose hobble if I can get away with it, and so I can always take them back up.
Okay. Well, Mickey, thanks for your thoughts on the Pacers, and we'll come back to you in a couple of days with your thoughts on the Trotters.
Thank you very much.
Harold Howe with Mickey Burke, giving you the Harness Racing Edge.